Hello, welcome back. My name is Benjamin Piper, YouTuber and historian. I am here with a special guest, David Gutel, co-director of Ginger Roots and a freelance director, worked with many projects. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. What's funny is like you haven't done anything wrong. My last name's Gutel,
Gutel.
not
Yeah, I
Goodle.
threw it through.
It's
I try
okay.
to put it
It's
through
okay.
Google Translate.
It's okay. Don't edit it out. Don't change it
Okay.
because everyone's always called me Goodle. So you're good.
Oh,
You're right on. You're right on. The term is always Goodle. I'm good. I'm well. Excited for Ginger Root Tour. Huge fan of all that you do for the Ginger Root community. So,
yeah, it's
thank
a
you
lot of
very
fun.
much. Yeah, it's you guys are a weird bunch, but Cameron and I are into it. Um, yeah, just appreciate your enthusiasm for Ginger Root and stoked to be here. What do you want to know?
Well, we had a couple questions from me, from the community, from even Reddit. I mean, like
Oh
I just
boy.
asked anyone. So whoever wanted a question, I just kind of threw it on here. So, kind of just easy. How did you meet Cameron and the rest of the gang?
So, like many moons ago, I I graduated from Huntington Beach High School in 2010.
Okay.
Um, Cameron entered Huntington Beach High School in 2011. I was a hired teacher's assistant right out of high school to help build the film program at our high school.
Oh,
And that's how I met Cameron is through the luck of being a teacher's assistant. Right when I graduated, Cameron entered, and that's how we met. And that's where our friendship started, is from my freshman year of college, his freshman year of high school.
wow. We'll talk about luck, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
just perfect timing right there.
yeah. And I worked at the school for 8 years, being a part-time teacher and teaching kids like how to do film and how to do video stuff. While I was going to college, while I was learning how to do it myself, it was kind of this like interesting relationship where like as I learned things, I just like in real time passed it to the students. But what's awesome is now that they're previous students of mine, they work on the Ginger Root music videos.
Yeah.
Uh, I work with them on sets outside of any work that like I didn't hire them, but they still showed up on a film set, and I'm
That's,
like, that's awesome. It's
that
just
is
awesome
awesome.
because it means it's working for them. It means that they're doing it. So that's how I met Cameron. Matt was also my student. He was part of the film program at the high school. So Matt was a student of mine. Cameron was a student of mine. Um, and then like because like our age gap is like only like 3 or 4 years, it quickly devolved into not like a more like friendship type of thing.
Yeah.
And Cameron was in the process of starting Ginger Root. And the first music video he asked me to work on was Ohio.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and that was the first music video I made with Cameron. Cameron had me act in two step in a very,
Okay.
very early time.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch the genealogy or the historian in you of like first it was two step,
Yeah.
then it was like Ohio, and then from Ohio it was just from there on out.
That's awesome. So what made you get into all this? Where did this all start? The cinematography, the director, what made you want to choose this career path?
I've wanted to do this since I was in eighth grade.
Okay.
Um, I love telling stories. I love entertaining people. I like spreading positive messages,
Yeah.
encouraging messages, and I think Ginger Root is a very encouraging um, project. I feel like
Yeah.
I think it means something to me, and it means something even morally. With the themes and values of like the stories and music videos that we're making. Um, yeah, I've just always had a fascination with visual technology, and I have a growing obsession with transitionary visual technology, which goes into the aesthetic of Ginger Root, which goes into the aesthetic of a lot of things. Right now, my esoteric philosophy is filmmakers have access to so many different decades of visual technology
Yeah.
for the first time in filmmaking history. We are no longer bound to just being just digital or just film. There's
Mhm.
these decades, like four decades of unique visual equipment that evoke different emotions of nostalgia, of feeling, of dream state, and right now I'm super into exploring what do all these different facets of visual mediums do to you emotionally, and how can you use them to tell a story.
Yeah. That's super interesting. That's just great. And I totally agree with you. I mean, gosh, like if you asked me like what, like 2 or 3 years ago that I would be even like doing any of this sort of thing, I would say you're crazy because
Yep.
I never had an interest of making YouTube or doing anything like this. And then here we are. But before you know it, I mean, did this, did that, and then just kind of screwed around and then just kind of just see what fits. And then
Yeah.
it just falls into place. It's super fun, super interesting like
Yeah.
that.
It's been a really long road. Um, I'm 31, and
Yeah.
I started working in the film industry in my early 20s, like late college, or late college, early out of college, working for free, trying to figure it out. It's been a decade journey,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
been, and, I know there's a lot of young kids out there who are trying to figure out the film industry and trying to, um, do this for a living. And all I can tell anyone who watches this is you just got to keep going. You just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you just keep
Yeah.
running, you'll eventually cross the finish line. And the thing is that there really is no finish line. You just kind of keep going. So my background is like I was a first assistant director for 8 years, working on many different kinds of projects, from feature films to music videos to commercials.
Mm.
And then these last 2.5 years of my life, I have finally kind of transitioned into only being a director,
Yeah.
and some sort of visual artist, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So I'm gonna skip over to this question because you kind of answered it. It was at what point did you get involved in the Ginger music videos, which was Two Step and Ohio.
Hmm.
So as a director, what's your favorite movie? Could be
Oh,
anything.
good question. It's
Yeah.
it's Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Yeah. Actually, okay. Actually, this is the David Gutel origin story. Um, so what got me into filmmaking is the idea of messages, and what I talked about earlier is my freshman year of high school, I was really, really sick with mono.
Oh,
And I missed like 3 months of school. And the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. My parents didn't know what was wrong with me. I was like sleeping for like 18 hours a day. It was miserable. It was a very, very dark, miserable place. Um, and they didn't really know it was mono until after the fact, until like after it all kind of subsided, because like tests and things. But what happened is I was at home, and my dad came back from the video rental store, and he had a movie with him, and he said, "David, I have a movie I think you'll like. I want you to watch it." And I was in a really dark like place. Like I had
yeah.
no friends. I was sick all the time. I felt terrible. No one knew what was wrong with me. And I was like, okay. So I sat down and I watched the movie, and it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And that experience, it was the first time, it was the first time I forgot I was sick. It was the
Hmm.
first time I wasn't living in the moment, or like of like how sad I was or how depressed I was. The movie, the visual experience, the movie, the comedy, the writing, the storytelling, uh, elevated me out of my state. And it was the first time I started feeling better. And I realized I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to, I want to do that for people.
That's fair. I mean, that's a lot better than my answer. My answer was just kind of screwing around with memes and see if it looked funny.
Yeah,
And
hey, that's, that's fun.
it was great. It was a lot of fun. But
Good.
yeah. So moving on, this is kind of an interesting question. What's the best ginger root show you performed at as the cameraman?
Oh,
Yeah,
a lot of shows.
yeah.
The one that really sticks out in my mind is December 2023 in San Francisco.
Okay.
Um, it was interesting. It was a seated venue, so everyone was seated, but there was a massive, like 40-foot theater screen that
Oh,
my camera feed got to go on,
that's
and that was a
cool.
lot of fun. That was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Um, that one sticks out in my mind just because of the scale of it. Um, I think one of the more meaningful shows for me, I think, was like maybe the first show in Chicago or Detroit.
Hmm.
I'm one of those two. Um, because it was the first time I felt confident in what I was doing.
Was that the one with the testimonials, or was
I
that
have
a
no
different
idea.
one?
I
Oh,
have no idea.
because
I'm, I,
I was
they're
gonna say
all,
I was at the Chicago one for one of them. I think that was 22 though. I don't think that was like the
was that in
first.
was that the one that was in a, bowling alley?
No, that was in Ohio, I believe.
That was Ohio. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm
Ohio.
confusing all of the Midwest. I'm gonna get flack for that. But no, I think it was like one of the first Midwest cities on the first fall tour I went with Ginger Root
Yeah.
that it was the first time I felt confident. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is new, but here we go.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. That's cool. So when it comes to the Ginger Root music videos themselves, do you come up with any of the storytelling, or does Cameron do that, or is it just like a mixture of both kind of thing?
So, the best way that I tell people, I get asked this question a lot. I
Yeah.
say, Cameron built a playground, and I get to play in it. Um, the Basically
All right.
from the aesthetic, the 1980s Japan,
Mhm.
the Cameron and I's appreciation of analog technology. We love pushing the envelope on analog visual technology. We love niche technology. Um, we love like finding distinctive voicing. So like that's where Cameron and I think we really like have that shared appreciation. Um, for Nisei Mono, I'll start there. For Nisei Mono, my job is that like as these music videos were getting bigger and bigger, I've been helping Cameron with organizing conceptual, just like planning, execution on the day. Because every time Cameron's in front of the lens, I'm behind the lens,
Yeah.
making sure that all the things are going well and working. Um, when it came to the big difference with Shimbangumi is Cameron brought me in at a very early stage, and I never worked with him in that capacity. Um, the way it worked is him and I crafted the story of Shinbangumi. We like wrote it all out over the course of like 4 months while planning. As we wrote the story of Shinbangumi, basically I'll just say each episode, each music video, um, when we were like, yep, we both agree, this is a good story, we like it. Cameron then takes it and he would do a storyboard. He would
Okay.
do a storyboard. He would then send me that storyboard. I then take the storyboard, I dissect it, I rip it into shreds in terms of like all the elements and making sure it all happens. I schedule it all out, and this is like where my background of being a first AD comes in. Is I schedule it all out. I assemble the crew. I assemble the team. We show up to set. then what happens is this like really fun in between magic where Cameron and I get to play a little bit and we get to add things, we get to change things. Not everything is not not everything is exactly to the storyboards. We get really close a lot of the time. But there's little fun things we get to add, we get to change. Like we get to have creative conversations about the story and how we want to shoot it. So like my role for Shinban Gumi as like a co-director with Cameron is like helping write the story and helping him direct the videos on the day. Cameron is in charge of like uh, the storyboarding. Cameron's in charge of making sure that it's fitting the voice. Cameron has a very strong creative voice for Ginger Root.
Okay.
Um, and that is the North Star. And like I said, he built this playground called the
Okay.
Dubon District, and I get to play.
That is actually a very good analogy of how to put it. I think that explains it perfectly. So yeah,
Yep.
with that being said, what's your favorite Ginger Root song?
Good question. Um, hmm. It's interesting. The music isn't music to me. The music is memories
Hmm.
because every song, every music video we've made, when I listen to the song, it just evicts so many different memories, like making music video, what went into it, how it felt,
Yeah,
how like
a
um
lot. People like to categorize ginger root into like two sections: the old ginger root, before the whole Japanese 1980s storytelling, and then the new ginger root, which is like the beginning of like City Slicker album EP, and
yeah.
then goes on forward. So people like to categorize it in different ways. I mean, like
Oh,
for
it's really fun.
yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. No,
Well,
go
for
ahead.
me, like right now, it's like cozy. I mean, like I just love that tropical feel, and like it just like when I heard that, it was like the first new song when the full album was released, and I just saw it like this is it. This is amazing for this album at
You know,
least.
when Cameron shared me the album, when he showed me the album in February this last year or this year, um, I was blown away by the fact that he was able to maintain an aesthetic while expanding his orchestration, while expanding his
Hmm.
layers. There's so many layers to Shinbangumi. Um, and like, I think my favorite song, I love City Slicker. I think
I
I
do
think
too.
City Slicker is my I think City Slicker is my favorite because that was like that music video was like the first time that Cameron and I just bit off a little bit more than we could chew. We rented like we rented this warehouse. We're like, yeah, it'll take 8 hours to film. It ended up making being like 12 hours. We were there with friends. We were in this like dilapidated warehouse in the dark with like no lighting, and we were just like trying to make City Slicker. We had friends come out and be the extras and stuff, and like filming these fight scenes and stuff. It was we were there till like I don't know, like 2 a.m. or something, and everyone we were just all having a good time, and everyone worked really hard on it.
Yeah, that reminds me of my last interview with Lucia. I made the joke right at the end, the $8 an hour, where Cameron asked the janitor and City Slicker to stare at the cameras like if he was getting paid $8 an hour. And I thought that was like one of my favorite clips of City Slicker in the behind the scenes.
Yes. Oh
Uh,
yeah. I haven't watched the behind the scenes.
yeah,
Is that on the YouTube?
it is. Well, you had the VHS. So
Oh,
I
that's
actually I
right.
think it is on YouTube. I think it is. If you just behind the scenes City Slicker, I think it just pulls up for that one at least.
Um, yeah. Okay. I'll have to look
Yeah,
into it.
yeah.
We'll go down memory
I'm
lane.
just going back and forth, doing research and
Well,
stuff.
you're the historian, so
Yeah, that's true. That's
you're the
true.
historian.
That is true. I try to keep it all together. But so moving on, in general, what's your favorite song? So like just other than Ginger Room.
You know, I really enjoy it's either Better Than Monday, like right now. I love Better Than Monday. Um, I really like All Night, and like that's also because Cameron was like, David, listen to this song. What do you think it's about? And I listened to it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is giving me a feeling, but I don't know if it's right. And he was like, yep, it's about you. And I was like, uh-oh. So All Night has a little special place in my heart because
Yeah.
Cameron, uh, Cameron, I inspired a song for Cameron with my antics, and happy to creatively charge Cameron.
Yeah, he said that while the whole album was released, there was like when he was, in the live, he made a section. This song is about David, and I'm like, what? Like
Yeah,
what does he mean by that? So
and
I
you'll
guess it
never
makes
know.
sense. Well,
You'll
maybe,
never know.
I maybe I gotta have Cameron come on here and ask him myself.
Yes,
There you go.
there you go. He'll probably
I
tell
didn't
you.
want to
He'll
bother
tell
him
you.
because I know literally Thursday you are leaving, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I can't get Cameron on here. Like
he might.
he's gonna be locked
But
in.
he might when we're on the road. He'll have a lot of downtime. I hope. I
All
think.
right, okay.
Um,
We can do one
yeah,
in Chicago, October 10th when I'm there.
Chicago
Chicago,
live.
live in Chicago. So, are you? This is from the Discord server. Are you planning to add more floppy photos to your Etsy or any merch or anything like that?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like, I have plans. Yes, I have photos I still want to print out and like sell. I just haven't had as much time.
Yeah.
The 9 music videos for Ginger Root. Been a full-time job since February,
Oh,
and
yeah.
uh, I plan to, I'm bringing the floppy camera on tour. I want to try and take some nice photos of all the major cities we go. Um, and yeah, yes, the plan is yes. There will be future photos, future things, and I really appreciate whoever asked that because sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? So
But it's just like you said, side quests. Side
side
quest. It's just
quests,
a side quest.
the side quest.
Yeah. So that's super fun. So another very good question. If you could collaborate with like any artist, any movie director, if you wanted to be on any movie in the world, what would it be?
Dune,
Dune. That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
Dune.
Great movie.
I am. Oh, my quarantine is I read all 6 books of Dune.
Oh,
Um, and I honestly, reading Dune
mhm.
changed me in a good way. It actually got me to start reading. I never read before. I wasn't a reader. I hated reading, and um, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start reading Dune because it was like my mom's favorite movie.
Okay.
Um, oddly enough, the David Lynch Dune from 1980s is my mom's like one of her favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie.
That's
Um,
what my
but
mom said.
yeah, it's terrible. But it has a lot of weird, crazy charm because of how intense it is. But anyways, so I read Dune, and if I could do anything, I would love to direct uh the 4th book movie adaptation of God Emperor
Yeah.
Doom.
That would be super cool. We'll make it happen.
Yeah,
Well,
starting
I'll
here.
I'll make some phone calls.
Thank you.
I don't
Thank you.
know anyone. Gosh. When it comes to making the Ginger music videos itself, which one was the most difficult to make out of all of
Oh.
them? Yeah. I mean, I would guess maybe the ones in Japan
Like
because yeah.
um well, here's the thing though. This is the thing about like the Japan ones. For Shinbon Gumi, it was a lot easier because we worked with a Japanese film team.
Okay. Yeah,
We
that'll make
had
it easier.
we had Japanese crew members, film team. Cameron did all the translating. I did all the English talking. um, and it it really it was kind of like a miniature version of how we film in America with like our team.
Hmm.
But honestly, I think Nisei Mono was the most challenging. It was our first
Yeah.
time filming in Japan. It was our first time filming in Japan. It was just Cameron and I. It was just Kimiko and Nana, the manager, and it was like just the four of us. Um,
Oh,
in
yeah.
Japan, we like
Yikes.
shipped all of our analog equipment to Japan, and we had to carry it. We had to move it. It was a really that was a difficult one. That was a really difficult one, but really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah. I was just going back because again, you got the behind the scenes VHS. I was just going back and just seeing all the crazy stuff you pulled off with the airplane at the airport, the shipping a giant camera from the 80s in a luggage bag because it was too expensive to do as I think it was like just the check-in rather than carry on. So it's
Hmm.
just that you carrying this giant bag behind you. So I guess
Yeah,
that makes sense, but just the four of you in Japan filming that would be pretty difficult, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's some funny shots of like I'm like holding a light. Cameron's like on camera and Kimiko's like there, and we're just like it was very ragtag. It was a very ragtag experience, but
Yeah.
it was very rewarding. We wanted the Kimiko scene where she's like by the train like performing. It's like a flashback in
Hmm.
Nisemono. Um, they took us like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Tokyo to some small town train. And the train route was like just like 10 minutes and just like went up this hill and down. And like it was just this like really old, like local access train that they found for us that we filmed at. Yeah, yeah. That was a good one and a hard one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. So this is just like a general, I think I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm not sure. Do you know if the rest of the album's getting music videos like the first half, or is it just cut off?
You guys are gonna
We
wait and
think
see.
yeah, we think the answer is yes, obviously, because the story has to continue. It kind of, left off there. But
There will be more music. I know Cameron's in that. I
yeah,
know he said that. There are
okay.
how many more songs? Five, four. The B side. There will be a music
I think
video
it's
for
like
each
five.
song on the B side.
Okay,
Yeah, and
that's
the story
cool.
will continue, and the story will go somewhere unexpected.
Oh, all right. All right, interesting. Do you have any future projects in general you want to work on are you working on at this time
Um,
or
right now, my priority is Ginger Root,
yeah.
and going on tour with them. Um, I've been starting to work with some other bands, making music videos for them.
Yeah.
I've been making some music videos for a band called Pearl and the Oysters. Um,
Yeah.
I made a music video for a band called King Perry. I'm actually right now also I'm working on an animated series, but it's in the very rudimentary level. I got asked to be a part of this children's animated show. Um, and working on that. It's actually the art of it and everything is coming out really nice. So it's kind of like that's kind of like I guess you would say the next thing is this animated show. Um, but as of right now, it's Jinju Tour.
Yeah.
Um, I I have a little goal for myself. I've had a feature length script I've been writing. It'll be my first feature length film. I've been writing it since the pandemic, here and there, but my goal is I want to try and just as bad as however it turns out, I want to try and just finish. I just want to try and write it on tour and before the year end.
Yeah. Well, that's actually pretty interesting and pretty cool. And I wonder where that goes. And I hope it really works out because I'll be very
Great.
interested in where that comes out. So now I'm down to the joke questions kind of at the end and just kind of see what the answers will be. How many jobs does the janitor have?
Let's see here. He's a realtor.
Yep.
He's a janitor. He's a camera operator.
Yes.
He's a security guard. Um,
I'm trying to think of all the music videos. Um,
okay, hold on. Sorry. So yeah, realtor, janitor, security guard, camera operator.
was he a taxi driver at one point? Oh wait, no, he was riding
No,
in the
he was a passenger. He was a
passenger.
passenger.
He,
Call him Rasputin. Um,
yeah,
I mean, he was like a pedestrian on a game show.
yeah, and then
He was a pedestrian in a taxi. So we're like at seven. Um,
could he count him as an extra on a set? Wait, that's stretching it, but
I would say, okay, so for jobs, the janitor has four.
yeah,
He's
that's
appeared
fair.
in more music videos, but he has four jobs.
It's so funny just to see him there because he's like, he stands out so well and it's just perfect. And he's been there for so long too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because we went to high school with him.
Yeah,
We're all high school friends.
yeah. So that works out. Um, is is the Ginger Band releasing Loretta 2 or City Slicker 2? That
Oh, you guys don't
teaser.
wait. You guys haven't gotten your laser
No.
disc of City Slicker 2? Oh, you
Oh
guys are
man.
lacking.
I mean,
You're
I
lacking.
got the Shibagumi one, but I haven't got my laser
Uh,
disc one.
oh yeah, you guys are lacking. Loretta 2 and City Slicker 2 is when Cameron decides to release them, I guess.
All right. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, this is the last two questions, and I think they are the most important, and they've been talked about for so long. When are you guys going to Brazil?
Never.
Never. Done.
No, I there I can't say things.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool things in the work for next year.
Oh, well, that's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
just doing different tours like that. Have you guys been to Mexico or Canada or anything like that?
We've been to Canada, not Mexico.
Not Mexico.
We've been to Canada.
That's
Yeah.
interesting because you're in the Huntington Beach County, so
Yeah.
I don't know how long of
We're
a
two
drive
hours
that
from
is.
Mexico.
You're 2 hours
We're
from
two
Mexico.
hours.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say because I visited there. I was doing a baseball tour, so I went to LA, the Angels, the
Yeah.
Padres, and I was
That's
pretty
awesome.
shocked. Yeah, it was pretty fun and cool, but I was pretty shocked how like close Mexico was, and it wasn't like bad
All
or
right.
anything. It was just like right there.
It's
Yeah.
2 hours away.
I mean,
It's
for
crazy.
me, Canada is only it's a little bit longer, but it's 7. I could drive there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midwest
Yeah.
area.
Um yeah, there's fun things in the work for next year, so people should
Yeah,
stay tuned and
stay
get
tuned.
hyped.
Get hyped. All right, this is my last question, and this is the most difficult one. I always leave the most difficult question at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Who is Loretta? No, that was a great ending. Thank you, David. I hope you have safe travels. I hope you watch this so you can see what I did at the end. But I hope you have safe travels. Please go and buy a ticket and see Ginger Root. They're a great community, a great band. They'll talk to you. You'll have a good time. See ya. Is that good?